If you're going to talk to the police, which is generally a bad idea, you should ask them the questions. Mm-hmm. It's the old sales adage, he who is asking the questions is winning.
Free Talk Live.
So here's the story from Huffington Post. A 12-year-old Pennsylvania reporter chasing down a news tip calmly faced down a Patagonia, Arizona marshal who pulled her over on her bike and reportedly threatened to throw her into juvenile detention. Journalist Hilde Kate Lysiak, publisher and star reporter of the Orange Street News website, wrote a story about the encounter and posted a video of the law enforcement officer. The article triggered several complaints, and the town of Patagonia announced it had taken appropriate, quote, action concerning the marshal, which it didn't specify. That probably means they had a conversation with him.
Strong talking to.
And that's about it. Hey, buddy, don't do this again if you're on camera. Marshal Joseph Patterson pulled Lysiak over Monday afternoon as she was riding her bike down a street in pursuit of her story, she reported on her site. She said the officer demanded identification because, all 12-year-olds.
12-year-old?
And she identified herself as a member of the press. The young publisher has been in Arizona to cover border issues, according to Pennsylvania's York Dispatch. He said to her, well, rather than reading the Huffington Post's quotes of this, he said, quote, I don't want to hear about any of that freedom of the press stuff, he said, and then added, I'm going to have you arrested and thrown in juvie. Now, I think this was actually before she started recording. He had, kind of tried to intimidate her. She later filmed him with her cell phone in another encounter soon afterward. And so that's where we're going to pick up on the video here from Hilde Lysiak. I presume I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I may not be. So here it is from her YouTube channel, which is called Orange Street News. This is her on the side of a road. She's on her bicycle versus a cop in one of those big cop SUV vehicles.
Okay. You stopped me earlier, and you said that I could be thrown in juvie. What exactly am I doing that's illegal?
So, when I left the office, you were over there talking, and you quickly... You taping me? You can tape me.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But... what I'm going to tell you is if you put my face on the internet...
She's recording his face right now, by the way, as he's saying this. What I'm going to tell you is you put my face on the internet...
it's against the law.
That, sir, is a lie.
That's not true at all. You can record police.
In fact, it is your right to record the police, especially if the police are in public. Even in states like New Hampshire, which is honestly one of the worst states as far as its so-called wiretapping laws are concerned. I think New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Illinois, and maybe another one. There's a handful of states that have the all parties must consent version of wiretapping, which is the worst. It's horrible, and it's very bad for like undercover journalism.
Sure.
And, like, you're trying to bust like, a shifty automotive repair shop, and you want to go in with a undercover camera. Sorry, you can't do that in New Hampshire. It's illegal. You're recording somebody's conversation without their knowledge and consent, and that's technically that's a misdemeanor wiretapping.
But it seems like that should not be the case for a public official on the public dime in public. That sounds crazy to me.
So there has been a carve-out that came from a court decision in a case regarding a man in Manchester who the police were raiding his home, and he recorded that, and then they tried charging him with wiretapping.
That's crazy. Yeah,
for recording the police in his own home. The judge said, no, there's an exemption to recording public officials, basically.
Oh, okay.
So... And, of course, federal courts have also ruled in a multitude of cases that you have a right to record the police, period. I mean, if they're on the job, they're on the record, and it doesn't matter if they're outside or inside your home or wherever you, as I understand it, again, not a lawyer, not legal advice, but you have a right to record these people.
Right.
And this girl's 12 years old.
Crazy.
The stories about her, she's actually been reporting on news she's again from Pennsylvania, so she's actually in Arizona when this happened.
Okay, I've got just a quick question on this.
But since she was 8 years old, she's been doing news reporting for a third of her entire life. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't understand. She's rolling around by herself. She's 12 years old. She's from Pennsylvania, but she's in Arizona. I can't imagine. I'm a father of a young daughter. I can't imagine being like, okay, you'll just go halfway across the country. Just go ahead and ride down the street on your bike, no problem, by yourself. I got to hear more about this.
Yeah, we're going to get into that because she actually has some comments for parents, overprotective parents here. We'll get into that coming up here in moments. Now, maybe her parents are with her somewhere in Arizona, but they weren't with her in this moment. More coming up here in your calls and thoughts are welcome. Our number is 855-450 free, plus a little bit more from this video. About another minute to go with her versus this cop trying to lie and intimidate her. Luckily, she didn't get attacked by him. Coming up, we got more of the audio from the video of 12-year-old journalist Hilde Lysiak threatened by a police officer in Arizona. She wasn't even from Patagonia, Arizona. She was just working on a story there because she's a journalist and has been one for the last 4 years of her life, starting at 8 years old.
It's amazing.
In her little town where she lives in Pennsylvania. But she encountered this police officer apparently a little bit earlier in the afternoon where he threatened to throw her into juvie. And then she encountered him again a little bit later on. And this second encounter was when she brought her cell phone camera out.
Good for her.
And recorded this, which is what everybody ought to do.
Yes.
Whenever the police are pulling you over or talking to you or trying to talk to you, because again, you're not obligated to talk to the police. Mm-hmm. And, Hilda's 12. She probably hasn't had a whole lot of encounters with police like this. But it's a learning experience, and I think that we can learn from this as well. And so I'm going to play some more of this audio. We only are about 16 seconds into what is just under a 2-minute long video.
Do you want to start it from the beginning?
Might as well.
Yeah.
It's Ian and Vin here in the studio tonight. So this is Hilda in Patagonia, Arizona. She's on the side of a road. She's on her bicycle, and the cop is in his big old SUV looking all tough, trying to intimidate her. So here we go. Here's the audio.
You stopped me earlier, and you said that I could be thrown in juvie. What exactly am I doing that's legal?
So...
Good move, by the way. If you're gonna talk to the police, which is generally a bad idea, you should ask them the questions. Mm-hmm. It's the old sales adage: he who is asking the questions is winning. Mm-hmm. So if the cops are asking you questions and you're answering, you're not winning. Mm-hmm. If you're asking the cops questions, that puts them on the defensive. Mm-hmm. And so it was a good move on her part. And that's what you would expect from a reporter, right?
Yes,
ask questions.
Absolutely.
When I left the office, you were over there talking, and you quickly... You taping me? You can tape me.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But
it's not a tape, dude. It's a phone. Just saying.
What I'm going to tell you is if you put my face on the internet, it's against the law.
False. That's a lie. And it's not illegal, by the way, for the police to lie to you. So they can tell you whatever lies they want to, and it's totally legal for them to do that. But if you lie to, say, a federal agent, that's a federal crime. Yeah, so let's go on.
In Arizona, okay?
In Arizona, also a lie.
Permission to use my picture or my face on the internet.
Okay, this is a common refrain that you'll hear from people in public, not just the police, but also just average people. If you're out in public recording, I didn't give you permission. You didn't need to. You stepped outside of your house.
Right, you're in public.
You don't want to have somebody see you? Go put a burqa on.
Right.
Okay, go put a mask on or something like that. Of course, in a lot of places it's illegal to wear masks in public, but not in New Hampshire. So if you don't want to be seen in public and you don't want to be recorded, don't leave your house.
Right.
There are ways for you to disguise yourself. Go ahead and disguise yourself.
Yeah,
if
put
you
on
don't
a disguise. Put on a fake mustache and a hat and glasses.
Yeah.
And the whole
you can
thing.
do that
Yeah,
if that's what you're concerned with. And I don't want to say that I make a point as a somebody with a video camera, a reporter, or whatever you want to call me. I don't make a point of trying to record average people in public. They're not interesting to me. No. That's not the news. That's not what I'm there to do. But if I'm recording something happening and there's an average person that happens to be in that place where that something is happening, whether it be the police arresting somebody or whatever it is, well, I'm sorry. You were there. I'm sorry. I didn't try to capture you on the video, but you ended up on the video.
Right.
I'm not going to blur your face out because I don't care. That's what happened. I want to present what happened. And she actually tells the cop at one point she can blur his face out. We'll get to that here. Here we go.
You understand all that?
I understand that.
So when you saw us leave, you quickly left the boy that you were with.
Okay, now remember, the cop is answering the question of what it is that she has done that is illegal or what is he threatening her over. You quickly left the boy you were with, is what he said. Huh? What?
Is there more to it than that or no?
Let's go on.
And you followed us down to 320 Roadrunner.
Oh.
And when we came back out, because we had to go somewhere else for an urgent call,
Okay.
you followed me again.
Oh, you don't like to be followed by a reporter, huh, officer?
Okay, first off, she's on a bike, right?
Yeah.
She's 12.
Yeah, and he's in a big old Chevy Silverado.
He's in a car. Now, I don't know. I can't see her because I'm not looking at your screen.
Yeah.
But does she have Lance Armstrong legs on her?
She's a little girl, man.
So how far could she follow him? 55 feet? I don't understand. You're in a car, dude.
Right.
What? I don't get this.
He's in I think it's a Silverado. I think you can see the name of the truck on the side. It's a monster kind of vehicle.
She's
here.
she's hitting does she have ET on the front? Is she flying? What's the deal?
Just a whiny little bitch cop. I mean, you followed me down the road. You can't follow the cops.
Yeah, and how's that illegal?
So
Boom! Good question. How's that illegal?
follow law enforcement, because you already came in and told me
Let me jump it back here. Hang on.
Yeah, and how's that illegal?
So don't follow law enforcement, because you already came in and told me you were a reporter,
Yeah,
and I don't want you to get hurt.
Oh, see, he's just trying to keep her safe, Finn. See, this is all
But
about...
that's not. It's not illegal for her to do something where she could possibly get hurt.
Yeah, but he's just trying to keep her safe. He's worried about her safety. She shouldn't be following him around. He's a cop. He gets into dangerous situations. I mean, there could be
Now, hold on 1 second. If I'm her parent, right, and
you are the parent of a girl.
And I am, and my daughter told me that she was following people around, okay? There are lots of different types of people to follow around.
Sure.
But if he's a cop and if he's a good guy, shouldn't he want her to be following him around as opposed to, say, someone who might actually be wanting to do her harm? If he's this protective, wonderful individual, I would say, please, like I tell my daughter when we're at the store, follow me close. Why do I want her to follow me close? Because if she's close to me, I'm going to make sure she's safe. If this cop has good intentions for her, he should be like, please follow me.
I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying
If he indeed is doing honest things as a police officer,
Exactly.
he shouldn't have anything to hide. But what he's doing is he's using this kind of ageist approach, and she actually wrote an article about this. She uses the term youthism instead of ageism,
Oh,
which is, she coined the term. It's, the idea of discriminating against somebody because of their age.
I like that.
Specifically because they're young. And so he's like, oh, little girl, you shouldn't be following me. It's dangerous. I'm a cop and my job is dangerous, so I don't want to put you in danger. So that's why you shouldn't follow me. I mean, I might just drive down the road and get involved in a firefight. We wouldn't want you to get hurt.
In Patagonia, Arizona, come on, dude. Really, is your life? Are you living on the line in Patagonia, Arizona, in the mean streets of Patagonia?
How many people live in Patagonia?
I'm going to guess under 50,000.
And way under 880. Oh, man.
Okay, it's real dangerous. Real dangerous in a town of 880 people where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, this is probably one of 5 cops or something like that.
Oh, dude, for 880 people, you've probably got 2 cops.
Maybe.
You've got the chief of police and the deputy. It's Mayberry, for crying out loud.
Let me go on here.
I
I'm
understand.
looking out for your safety.
Okay.
Okay? The area you were in is where we're dealing with the mountain lion.
Oh, there's a mountain lion on the loose. See, he's just looking out for her, Vin. He's trying to protect her.
Is that police? Look, here's the deal. If the place that you live in, if what the police are concerned with is a mountain lion, this little girl can follow you around. There's no...
Well, once again, that's another argument that you were making that bolsters your argument. If there's a mountain lion around, the cop's got a gun.
Yeah, follow me,
she
please.
doesn't.
There's a mountain lion.
Yeah. But no, he wants her to go away and be on her own.
Be on your own in the area where there's a mountain lion. Whatever you do, don't follow me. Don't stay within eyesight of me or earshot. Please go out into the brush on your own and be eaten by a mountain lion.
Remember, all of this is his rambling answer to her one question of why it was, what is the issue here? Why is it I'm not supposed to be following you? What is it illegal that I've done? He's just been rambling away for a minute straight here about this. And there's a little bit more. So we'll play more with Hilde Lysiak. She's 12 years old. She's a journalist, and we'll tell you more about it coming up here in moments. Let's continue here. More with Hilde Lysiak. She's a 12-year-old journalist on her bicycle in Arizona, reporting on a story. Decided she wanted to follow the cops because, hey, guess what? You want to find some news, follow a cop around, right? Like, that's not a bad approach to finding a story to report on. And turns out the cop doesn't like it. He's trying to tell her, oh, I'm just trying to keep you safe. That's why I don't want you. There's a mountain lion around here. There's danger. I'm in a dangerous job. You shouldn't be following me around, little missy. Let's continue here.
The mountain lion.
Yeah.
Okay, and all right, but what exactly? I understand that you're concerned about the safety, but what exactly am I doing?
Order.
A direct order? I gave you a direct order. What? Who are you, sir? Yeah. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Right.
What is this?
I give you a lawful order, and if you disobey a law enforcement officer, you can lie to your mother, you can lie to your father, you can lie to your priest. You can't lie to a law enforcement officer.
Sir, you're the only one who's told a lie in this encounter. I'd just like to be clear. You're the one who has lied. You lied to this girl by telling her she couldn't record your face because you didn't give her permission. False.
This is ridiculous.
She has done nothing but ask him a question. That's all she's done. She's asked it 3 times, and she really hasn't gotten a responsive answer.
What is the lie that she supposedly told to him?
It's not really clear. Maybe he'll make it clear here in the next 20 seconds.
You understand that? So actually lying to me and saying you were going to your friend's house wasn't acceptable.
No, I didn't say that.
She didn't say
My
that.
friend lives right there. In fact, if you want, you can knock on her door
When
and
you
ask
saw
her.
us leave, you turned around, you didn't even make it to your friend's house. You were saying where we were going.
Yeah, I wasn't going to my
Right?
friend.
Well, thank you very much.
I don't know what he's talking about. At no point did she say I was going to my friend's house. I mean,
He's crazy.
he's got some sort of narrative going on in his head about what this girl's doing, and it's nuts. Let me go on here with a video. Let's the very end.
If you want, you can knock on her door
When
and
you
ask
saw
her.
us leave, you turned around, you didn't even make it to your friend's house. You were saying where we were going.
Yeah, I wasn't going to my
Right?
friend.
Well, thank you very much. You have a great day. I'll be home getting a hold of your parents.
Okay.
For what?
Ooh, he's gonna get a hold of her parents.
For what, though?
She never got the answer. So
basically, he's just harassing her. Is what it comes down to.
Totally. He thought he was gonna intimidate a little girl on the side of the road
Typical.
because he's a cop.
Typical.
And it probably usually works, right? Like, and I was telling you during the break, and I'll tell you now, but and a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago now at this point, a little guy named Mikey. He's the son of a listener of Free Talk Live that lives in Alstead, the family. I don't know if I should give their name. But anyway, good folks. They moved to New Hampshire as part of the freedom migration several years ago. Actually, they moved while I was in jail for civil disobedience. And so his dad was writing me letters in jail talking about how it was activism like what we did here in Keene that encouraged him to make the move up here to New Hampshire. And so it was really cool to, be sitting in jail for civil disobedience and reading that what we've been doing with civil disobedience was encouraging people to move. So he actually moved while I was in jail. So it was cool because I got like a letter from him while they were still down in North Carolina, and then I got another one when they came up here. Anyway, his dad's a longtime cop block supporter, people who support the accountability of police officers, holding them accountable with video like Hilde did here. And so he taught that to his kids. And so his 11-year-old at the time son was in a little town just north of here in Keene, hanging out with his friends on a bridge, and some cop, a state cop, rolls up in his Dodge Charger or whatever and tries to intimidate the kids on the bridge. And he pulls out his camera, starts recording, talks back, asks questions, and did a great job, kind of like Hilde did here, trying, defending against a man, towering, essentially a much larger human being with a gun and intimidation and the ability to arrest. I mean, most young people, most adults for that matter, are intimidated by these people.
That's the point.
They're trained to be intimidating.
Yes.
They have their ways, and they know what they're doing, and they know how to intimidate. And especially when a young person like 12-year-old journalist Hilde Lysiak here stands their ground, pulls out a camera, you've turned the tables on this cop from moment number one. And that's why he just started this. In this case, he just starts lying, saying she can't record him, and then just goes on a ramble about how he's in charge and she just shouldn't follow him around, and she should just, it's for her own good, it's for her own safety. And according to her article about this, which she wrote on her website, which is orangestreetnews.com, at the very end, apparently this is like not in her video, maybe right after she had maybe cut the recording before he says this. He said before driving off, and by the way, his name is Patterson, Marshal Patterson. He says, quote, "You aren't an adult, so don't act like it." What an insult.
Wait, don't you, it shouldn't, that doesn't make any sense. He
didn't make a single bit of sense in that entire
if a person who under the age of 18 is behaving in an adult manner, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Why would you tell somebody to act childish, to not act like an adult?
It's so insulting. This is that ageism that we touched on earlier with our previous caller. You aren't an adult, so don't try acting like one. Yeah. And sorry, buddy, the only person who wasn't acting like an adult in that video was you.
Exactly.
You're acting like a little bitch,
exactly.
like a little baby who can't handle having a 12-year-old with a video camera hold you accountable for your job and for your actions. She handled herself
so well.
She did. Now, she did make the mistake of giving up the location of her friend's house. She probably shouldn't have done that.
Sure.
But there really wasn't much I could say as far as like she did bad. She didn't do bad. She did pretty good.
Yeah.
For somebody who probably she's had interactions with police. In one of her an interview she conducted with, let me see here, it was I think it's brightlightmag.com. They did an interview with her late last year, just kind of asking her about being a young journalist and getting into that. And she explains in here that the police are not particularly helpful, right? Like if you're a journalist and you want to get a comment on a story or something like that, and she's already been doing that, they're not particularly helpful in that way. So she's had interactions with police before as a journalist, and I think for the average person out there listening to this, there's some takeaways from this. Don't answer police's questions. That's one thing that will get you into trouble. And if you're going to talk to them, do what she does. Ask them questions.
Right.
Ask them about what they're doing. Ask them about what they want. Ask them what they're investigating. If you're asking questions, you are in control of the conversation.
Free Talk Live. Listen live 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern or grab the podcast. It's all at freetalklive.com.